Hello, good morning. Can you hear Santosh? Good morning, Milind sir. So, good morning, everyone. Can we start? Gayatri?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Okay. Today's topic is preventive child health care by Ayurveda. So, now, current in Corona scenario, we are unlocking the things. So, we are again going back to the track of normal lifestyle. So, last 3 months, we have know the better value of life. So for that, we have to take care of our children's for lifetime. So that's why we taken this topic, preventive child health care by Ayurveda. A small effort to reach authentic Ayurveda till a sound knowledge of Ayurveda. So here we have Dr. Gayatri Kulkarni Mue. She's talking about the this topic. Dr. Gayatri Kulkarni is a multifaceted personality, a practicing Ayurveda physician. She is practicing since 10 years at Dombivli. She is an active blogger and has a keen interest in literature also. She has get many trophies for her articles, as well as she is renowned practicing gynecologist, as well as she is expert in swimming also. So she has done very extracurricular activities also. Her blog name is Arogya Maitri Samvad blogspot.com. So here I am giving the mic to Dr. Gayatri to listen our topic, preventive child healthcare by Ayurveda.
Thank
Gayatri,
you.
start.
Okay, thank you, Sheetal. Good morning, my friends. I would like to thank organizers for giving me this platform. And now let's start with today's topic, that is preventive child health care by Ayurveda. Few days back, my son was asked for drama task. In that drama, he has to perform considering corona is a villain and we can win against corona by simple preventive technique, that is wearing mask, using sanitizers and having social distancing. So he innocently asked, "Mama, can we win against all diseases like that?" So yes, up to some extent we can prevent further diseases or bad prognosis. So let's start with this theme, preventive child health care by Ayurveda. Now, the topic is divided into three parts. First part will cover common pediatric problems and its causes. Second part we'll be having focus on preventive care in pediatric problems, and third we'll be having the common preventive protocol for healthy childhood. Now let's start with the first part, that is common pediatric problems and its causes. Now let us have a look on this picture. This is beautiful picture of classroom. We all are eagerly waiting to start the schools. When you look this picture by the angle of mother, that everyone knows that every child is a different. He may have different interests, likes, dislikes, hobbies, etc. When you look this picture by the angle of teacher, some of them are talkative, some of them are very expressive, some of them are shy, likewise. But when we saw this picture by the angle of doctor, we can say we can broadly classify the health related problems into two categories, that is problem related to physical health and problems related to psychological health. So we are dividing into two groups. Now, what are the common pediatric problems? As we saw number of pediatric cases in our clinic or during child health camps or even in adolescence training programs at school, we come to know that there are major n number of pediatric problems, but commonly we can classify this into following categories. The first one and very common problem is upper respiratory tract infection and its recurrence. Nowadays, it is major and very hot topic, and lowered immunity. Then second one is a malnutrition. That is nutrition, both undernutrition and overnutrition. Third is a juvenile diseases. That is diseases from childhood. We can take example of diabetic disorders from childhood. Then metabolic disorders, that is disorders due to change in metabolism. Then musculoskeletal problems, that is problems related to your muscle, your skeletal system, and with your total overall development. Oral health problems are very common. Childhood age is very susceptible for oral health problems and behavioral disorders. That is psychological part of health. Now, look at the statistics. Statistic is very important. Now, we all are a statistician during corona phase. So when we look for malnutrition in India, that is both undernutrition and overnutrition. 44% of child are below the age of 5 are malnourished. So it is big figure. Again, when you come to nutritional deficiency disorder, 52% of children are having iron deficiency anemia. That is 2 of 1 are having iron deficiency anemia. That is lowered in hemoglobin. Then one of the best research and very interested research says pregnant women have 65 to 75% of anemia during pregnancy, due to which the further diseases like physical retardation and reduced cognitive abilities are seen in their progeny. So pregnancy wise diet and nutrition is very important. When you look for obesity, so there is large number of children having obesity, that is 14.4 million cases are obese, and we are having second number amongst the world. And this obesity related prevalence is 15%, and it is increasing in upper income families. So it is very dangerous situation. And when we look for behavioral problems, 7.4% of children aged 3 to 17 years are having behavioral problems. This is diagnosed behavioral problems. Undiagnosed is actually like a iceberg. Now, uh, hello Sheetal, is it going in right way? Hello. Okay, am I audible clearly?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Now let us have a look on preventive healthcare in childhood. Why it is necessary? Is it really necessary to have childhood preventive care? Yes, because as we saw during rainy season or before rainy season, we fixed our leakage related or house related problem to avoid unavoidable circumstances. Many time we fix servicing related problems for our vehicle for better efficiency. So what we do for our health? Are there any care to be taken? Yes, we can take preventive care, and this is very helpful because childhood is very delicate phase of life, and recurrent health problems will cause adverse effect on the health throughout the life. Many times recurrent or major health issues during childhood shows permanent damages to structures, and they causes normal change in normal physiology. Nowadays we are facing another common problem, that is antibiotic resistance. We all are using over uh, antibiotics without prescription. So all these factors are responsible for antibiotic resistance, and that antibiotic resistance is responsible for immunosuppression, mental and physical growth related delay, and also the problems related to puberty. So be aware about that. So for healthy, happy and active intellectual childhood, prevention is always better than cure. Now we saw the common pediatric problems. Now we can broadly classify the common causes because causes are very important. So we can broadly classify causes into four types, that is lifestyle changes, dietary factors, environmental factors and genetic factors. As we saw lifestyle changes, हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा नहीं था, इसमें जो कुछ इंक्लूड होता है वो लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस है. Then dietary factors, overuse of junk food, preserved food, carbonated drinks, soda, all are dietary factors for diseases. Then environmental factors, we all are exposing with n number of pollutions, chemicals, and also noise pollution and water pollution. So these are all are environmental factors, and our next generation has to cope up with this and has to adapt with this. So preventive care with respect to environmental factor is very essential, and genetic factors. Nowadays, genetic factors are also increasing in number. Obesity, diabetes, and genetic irritated diseases are also having number, very large number. So overall effect of all these causes and all common pediatric problems are inappropriate growth and development during childhood. The growth is a quantitative term, it's related to structural formation, and development is a qualitative term which shows the physiological functioning of health system. So inappropriate growth and development is the result of overall effects of diseases during childhood. Now, who is more susceptible, or who should be more alert? Who is more danger? Let us have a look. The susceptible group. Underweight child, that is child having low weight according to age, then low birth weight, that is 2 kg is a normal minimum weight required, but below 2 kg has very bad prognosis. Then premature birth, that is delivery before 9 months, then major illnesses after birth like jaundice, typhoid, etc. Family histories, like obesity, diabetes also play important role. Congenital disorders and psychological factors. All children in this group are susceptible for more infection and more health related problems. So be alert for this group. Now, what Ayurveda says extra, or what is unique preventive care given by Ayurveda. As we saw, Ayurveda always gives importance for cause. So trace the cause is the first step. Giving importance to the cause is must. As we go to the Ayurvedic physician, they always take brief history, always ask you for your diet patterns, your lifestyle, everything. The reason is they used to identify the cause and remove the cause. If you do not remove the cause, the treatment will not give 100% result. So identification of cause is very important. Then second, dinacharya and rutucharya, that is seasonal care and routine care. That both care are described in Ayurveda, has unique features, and it is very easy to understand and to follow. That is, it is responsible for good quality of life in childhood, and age wise preventive care is also mentioned in Ayurveda. So this is the unique features of Ayurveda. Now, Look at next slide, that is steps in preventive care. So first step, as we saw, identify the problem. Many times parents compare child with another child. This is very wrong way to compare. So identify the problem, then identify the cause. As we saw, cause is very important, and removal of cause will also many times give 100% result. So identification of cause is very important. Having daily curd or having tomato ketchup daily or having pickle daily also many times causes health hampers. And if even if you remove that cause, many times health factors get corrected. So cause is very important. Then remove that cause, modify your diet and lifestyle. Small modification and of in diet and lifestyle also gives good result. So modify your diet and lifestyle is a third step. Fourth step is a preventive care by Ayurvedic ways, by which you can manage fragile phase of childhood. So, what are the preventive steps in Ayurveda? There are three steps, preventive steps in Ayurveda, that is prevention by dietary modification, by lifestyle modification, and some preventive medicines along with Panchakarma. Now, up to this slide, we covered causes, common pediatric problems, and the steps by which we can prevent health problems or bad prognosis during adulthood. Now let us have move to next part, that is preventive care in pediatric problems. Now, when you look for malnutrition, it is the biggest topic of uh, topic, biggest percentage of children having malnutrition, as we saw in statistic. Malnutrition is a condition that results from eating a diet in which one or more nutrients are either not enough or are too much, such that the diet causes health problems. It may involve calories, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, or minerals. Malnutrition are of two types, that is undernutrition and overnutrition, both. And that undernutrition also have four subforms, that is wasting, stunting, underweight, and deficiencies in vitamins. Now look at this picture. The first picture is of normal childhood. Second one is wasting, that is low weight according to age. Then third one is stunting, that is low height according to age. And underweight, that is low weight according to age. Now this is the representation of undernourished child. Then let's have a look on causes and symptoms of malnutrition. As we saw, for causes of malnutrition, as we saw, cause is very important. The main cause for malnourishment is disease or underlying disease condition. Many times absorption related problem or digestive problem plays important role. In cases of undernourishment, the malabsorption is always present. Then lack of safe drinking water and lack of access to food that we are having in abundant quantity. Then climatic changes. As we saw, many times seasonal changes or drastic weather changes plays important role or hampers digestion related entities, so that malnourishment is seen in this picture. Then migration, continuous change in places with different atmosphere, then different also amplification and malnutrition. Now poverty and conflicts on which India is working and having good national programs. So these are some causes of malnutrition. And what are the symptoms? The symptoms are lack of growth and low body weight, tiredness and lack of energy. Parents complain, my child get readily tired. So tiredness and lack of energy is one of the symptom. Then irritability and anxiety, and which ultimately results into slow behavioral and intellectual development. Many times parents complain he or she cannot concentrate at for long time. So this will be the presentation, possibly resulting in learning difficulties. This is for undernutrition. Now let us have a look on overnutrition, which results into children obesity. It is very common and very fastly growing problem. The first and main cause is physical inactivity and sedentary activity. that is having mobile for long time, playing video games, game stations at home, all are responsible for obesity. Then dietary trends, as we saw, junk food, easily available junk food, I can say, extra salted food items, preserved and canned food items, all are having impact for causing obesity. Then status, as we saw, the higher economic class is affecting worse. Genetic and antenatal factors are also responsible. So these are the causes of obesity. Then its effects. As we saw, parents do not complain any particular complaint, any particular signs regarding obesity. But overall, long-term effect of obesity is very dangerous and very difficult to treat. They may have psychological problems, obstructive sleep apnea, then cardiovascular diseases. Obesity and cardiovascular diseases are very associated. Then polycystic ovarian diseases. Nowadays, every child, teenage girl are having polycystic ovarian diseases and diabetes. So it is the long-term effects of children obesity. Now look at this picture. There are different cases. First case is of protein energy malnutrition, that is lack in protein, particular kind of macronutrient from our diet. Second picture is of childhood obesity and its ill effect, we can say. Third picture is of comparative picture, that is underweight child, overweight child, and normal child. And this is actually psychological representation also. You can say middle one is laughing on that and he is crying. So it hampers psychological or behavioral patterns of the children this in this age also. So this is all about children obesity. Now in case of malnutrition, that is overnutrition and undernutrition, where to look for? Many times this is confusion. We cannot ask pediatrician for total diet plan or cannot ask that for small problem. So you have to look at for hunger time, digestion time, and excretion time. These times are too important, and you have to notice, you have to observe, being mother or parents, and then talk to your doctor about this. Many time children, parent complains my child is hungry, but when we eat, when we offer him or her some food, he is not ready to eat, or he is having it in small parts. Many times parents complain my child is not at all hungry, but he can play throughout the day. So that is the different representation, and you have to notice there. Then common problems in malnourished child are digestion related problems, excretory problems, pseudo hungers, and skin related problems. Skin rash, dry skin is common in malnourished child. So now we move to the preventive care. As we saw the 4 steps in preventive care, now we move to the preventive care with respect to underweight child. So first is identify your problem. Either he or she is having problem like wasting, thinning, stunted, or particular deficiency. Wasting, that is low weight according to height. Thinning, that is low weight according to age. Stunted, low height according to age, and particular deficiency. You can Google it, you will find the particular deficiency. Now identify the cause. As we saw, cause is very important. So lack of good quantity and quality of food. Now parents are providing good quantity and quality of food. Then what if your child is in daycare or have is living with maid during your office time? So make sure he or she is having good quantity of food. Then socio-economic status, underlying medical issues. This is very big topic, but we can say that underlying medical issues, digestion related problems are very common, which is related to malnutrition. Malabsorption is always present in that cases. Then environmental factor, as we saw, the seasonal changes impacts digestion of human body. So environmental factors. Then deficiency of micro or micronutrients. Now, after having cause, after identifying problem, you have to modify the diet and lifestyle. So Ayurveda gives diet Shadrasatmak, that is 6 tests: sweet, sour, salty, astringent, pungent, and bitter. All tests are essential. So keep putting all types of diet to your child. Then according to Prakriti, like constitutions. Then proper quantity and quality is very essential. And it should be served properly with positive emotions. Nowadays, these positive emotions are missing. Uh, Earlier days, we start our meal by Vadani Kavala Gheta. This is the best way to gratitude, show gratitude and positive emotions. So this is the main thing for diet and lifestyle. Then what can you give to that children by Ayurveda? So Panchakola Sav and Kumari Asav is good for correcting malabsorption or digestion related problem. Krumi Kuthar Ras, many times parents complain, my child is having best hunger, good hunger, is eating in good quantity also, but still he is not gaining weight. So why? So many times worm is the causative factor. So you have to deworm your child. You can deworm your child every once in year. You can use Krumip Kutharas for that. Grutapan, that is cow ghee with meal, is best modified diet for gaining weight. Suvarna Prashan, Laghu Malini Vasanta, etc. are also helpful for treating malnutrition, that is undernutrition. Now, we saw for undernourished child. So, what for obese child? So, preventive care with respect to obese children. Now, first identify problem. As we saw earlier, parents do not complain anything, but you have to look for increased weight according to age, increased BMI, increased fatty deposition, and inactiveness in child. Now, identify the cause. Many times, as mentioned, macro and macronutrient imbalance. Many times, carbohydrate or fatty alone having extra share in diet causes obesity. So make sure that you are not having single constituent in your diet. Family history also play important role. Overeating habits, having junk food, all are the reasons, and most common reason is no exercise or less physical work. So you have to identify the cause. Then what you have to do? Modify diet and lifestyle. So diet, avoid food having trans fat, starch, reduce junk food. Then if you are having overeating habits, then restrict 2 meal program. Then routine care by heavy exercise, physical activity. You have to encourage your child for physical activity and cycling. It is very hard part of the treatment actually. Then care by Ayurvedic way. If you are having family history of obesity, if you are having family history of diabetes or having family history of hormonal imbalances, then go for Panchakarma in childhood only, so that it get corrected at the time and you can prevent bad prognosis. So Udvartan, Abhyangas, steam, all are helpful for reducing the fat. Then Kumari also helpful for digestion correction. Krumi Kuthar Ras, as we show, as we earlier say, for deworming. Then Trifala Gugul, Apatarpan Kadha, and Arogyavardhini will be helpful in obese children. Now, what is unique features Ayurveda describe? This is the unique feature described by Ayurveda while describing diet. Yesterday only I came across one WhatsApp forward. I am going to read this. This is a very good message. Your diet is not only what you eat, it's what you watch. It is what you watch, what you listen, what you read, the people you hang around. So be mindful of the things you put into your body, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So Ayurveda also mention exactly that quantity and quality of the meal is required. Along with that, you should be aware why you are eating or what is special purpose. Many times sport persons are have different diet plans, so you can modify diet accordingly. Then one viruddhana is concept there, that is food incompatibility. Many times parents think that having 2 to 3 ingredients together or mixing some ingredients and processing will value give value addition to nutrition, but this is very wrong. Some ingredients together will not have good nutritional value. Actually they hamper your health condition. So this is very wrong method. I will going to focus it on next slide. So this is what about diet. So diet influences growth, development and immunity of child. So it is very important. Healthy food habits during childhood will ensure healthier life as an adult. So it is responsible for good quality of life. Then healthy diet will prevent many diseases from childhood like obesity, diabetes and nutritional deficiency diseases. Now look at this food guide pyramid. The base of the pyramid is of carbohydrates, the major share from our diet, Indian diet we can say. What we are missing is equal share of vegetables and fruits. Nowadays due to lockdown we totally missing this. So vegetables and fruits are you should be used seasonal, packed or preserved or uh, uh, do not use that type of vegetables and fruits. Then equal share of dairy products and meat, protein products. What we are missing is amount of protein or quantity of protein. If you are vegetarian, many times the protein rich diet is not there, which causes protein energy malnutrition in many vegetarian people. So make sure that your child is having protein. Proteins are also of two types, simple protein and complex protein. So protein related with moong dal is very simple to digest. So in childhood, in early ages, below 5-year age, you can use moong dal for better absorption. Then also we move to the group fat. Fat is also having four groups: simple, unsaturated, polysaturated, and trans fat. Trans fat is a processed fat. You should avoid trans fat. Then unsaturated fat, that is fat which is liquid at room temperature. That is cow ghee. You can use cow ghee. It is not banned. And last top of the pyramid is of bakery products. It should be in less quantity as shown in figure. Now this is actually a quantitative table. Many time parents ask ki how much quantity should my child is have to take, or my child is of this age group. He is taking all the things, but quantity I'm not sure getting or not. So this is general nutritional guideline. If your child is in between 2 to 4 year age, vegetables should be 1 to 1.5 cups. Seasonal fresh vegetables you can take. Grains, that is carbohydrate group, that is 100 gram. You can use rice, wheat, jawar, bajri for that. Then fruits, 1 to 1.5 cups seasonal fruits. Protein, 70 gram protein, that is pulses, chicken, egg. Again I am racing, make sure that your child is having enough protein for vegetarian people. And dairy products, 2 cups minimum. Milk, curd, cheese, etc. are the sources. Now this is again quantitative diet chart for 4 to 8 year children. Vegetables, 1.5 to 2.5 cups. Then grains, that is carbohydrate, 115 to 170 grams. Fruits, 1 to 1.5 cups. Proteins, 85 to 150 gram. And dairy products up to 3 cups. So this is the quantitative diet chart. Then again, Viruddhana, that is food incompatibility. As we discussed, 2 or 3 ingredients mixing together, not having much nutritional addition. So be aware of that. I am here giving good processes and bad processes. So what are good processes? Good processes are easy to digest, easy to absorb, so have better result in your body. And bad processes are not having much nutritional value, easy hard to digest and hard to absorb, so not having as much influence on the body. So fully cooked vegetables, ghee with every food item, use of Indian spices while preparation, use of black jaggery for sweetening of the food. If you are replacing white sugar, it is best thing. Milk and ghee, all are good processes. Bad processes, salad with curds. Many time we Indian people serve that salad with curd. Then mayonnaise, honey with hot water. One advertise is also there focusing take honey and water, you will get rid of fat. Very wrong. It is a slow poisoning. Then half cooked vegetables in sandwiches. Once in a while it is okay. Pizza, barbecues, grilled non-veg item, all are with bad processes or in group of food incompatibility. Half cooked and then grilled items, fruit shakes, milk shakes, Children's favorite all items are in bad processes. Brownie, curd cream used during non-veg preparation. Many time biryani or whatever that items are preparing, we use curd during preparation. That is very wrong method. Then after this Viruddhan or food incompatibility, there are some recipes. Many of you parents are knowing it, but I am just including some of them. That is groundnut chikki and sattu, that is flour of roasted wheat, and chana dal. You can have it with milk and jaggery. Then Trinan modak, that is dry fruit laddu, you can say. Wheat chick, then nachni ragi satwa, dalimavaleha, moravla. One tip I wanted to give to all of you, that do not go with green vegetable and paneer. Palak paneer is a very bad recipe because paneer decreases absorption of zinc and other hemoglobin related entities. And another is always go for green vegetables. We always eat vitamin C related food during green vegetable intake. That is, you can add lemon to your diet when you are having green vegetable in your meal. It increases the absorption and increases the hemoglobin level very well. So these all are about diet, up to which we covered malnutrition, that is under and over nutrition, and we can correct malnutrition without any supplements, because the supplements given by doctor are temporary making your levels high, and again your child may go into the trouble. So diet is the only medicine for both nourished child and over nourished child. So this is the big topic, very hot topic, and nowadays it is the most spoken subject, that is recurrent upper respiratory tract infection and lowered immunity. So we all are talking about immunity and we are masters of immunity. So I am speaking it in small way. The common symptoms of upper respiratory tract infection are cough, cold, fever, sneezing, headache, body ache, etc. As all of you know, because every children has gone through it. Then signs of lower immunity, रिकरेंट यूआरटीआई, पिछले तो 2 3 4 हफ्ते से वही चल रहा है, कम होता है ज्यादा होता है. दिस इज रिकरेंट यूआरटीआई with prolonged recovery time. 4 to 5 days is normal recovery time for upper respiratory tract infection. If you are not having same recovery time, your child must be having prolonged recovery time due to lowered immunity. Then infection rate, साल में 4 5 बार वही होता है. This is 4 to 5 times per year. Then easy fatigue, irritated child, and weight loss. These all are the signs of lowered immunity. So what to do for this? So preventive measure, as saw we all in 4 steps. First is to identify the problem where it is recurrent or where your child is immunosuppressed. Then identify the cause, allergies. Many times parents complain, my child get cough or cold or related to that complaints only when winter started or only when he exposed to dry, windy, dusty air. So it may be due to allergy. Then immunodepressed. Many times childhood is a very fragile stage, low immunity, then undeveloped immunity are common presentation. So immunodepressed. Continuous exposure to infection. The child going to play groups or nursery are having continuous exposures to other colleagues, uh, and they must catch infection during that stage. Rainy winter season or seasonal changes, pollution exposure, and prakruti. Many time parent complain, my child is prone to have cough and cold. She or he always have that. So prakruti, according to prakruti, kapha prakruti will show continuous symptoms. Then preventive care by diet and lifestyle modification. Diet should be light, warm, liquid. Many times people confuse, parent forces to have hard diet during that time. It is very wrong. You should have light, warm, liquid, semi-solid diet during infective phase. Warm water for drinking. Shadangodak, Kharjuradi Mantha will be helpful. Now, care by Ayurvedic way. I will divide this Ayurvedic way into 2 types, that is preventive and curative care. The preventive, best prevention for avoiding upper respiratory tract infection is Nasya, that is nasal application. You have to take oil or cow ghee and you have to put drops into your nostrils. This is the best way for preventing URTI, preventing causes like allergies and continuous exposure, etc. So this is best way. Dhupan. Even you can take immunorays, that is my proprietary medicine, Sitopaladi Churna, if your child is prone to infection. 250 mg daily, once in the morning, for avoiding seasonal change related or allergy related upper respiratory tract infection. And putting Nilgiri tel to the collar to your toddler will also helpful to avoid the contagious spread of diseases during school period. So this is the preventive care. Once again, I am tracing Nase is the best way, but do not apply oil or cow ghee during infective phase. Means during your child is having runny, watery nose, then don't put it. When you are cured or as a preventive way, you can have it throughout the life. Now, for preventive purpose, this is done. Now for curative, Mahasudarshan Kadha, Vekanda Suntha Gulwell mixture, you can have it in the home and you can take daily dose of 500 mg twice a day. You can get rid of that upper respiratory tract infection and its recurrence, and you can uh, get better immunity by this also. Then Suvarna Prashan. Suvarna Prashan is using or giving Suvarna medicated ghee to your child. It is the best way to increase immunity, hence to avoid infection. Now this is upper respiratory tract infection. Now during this corona phase also you can give nasal nasya, that is nasal application to your kiddos, and Sitopaladi Churna or Suntha Gulwel Vekhanda mixture to your child, because it is already rainy season and also the corona is spreading like havoc. So have a preventive care best. Then common oral problems. Childhood is very susceptible for oral problems. The common oral problems are toothache, bleeding gum, bad breath, dry mouth, broken tooth, sensitive teeth, mouth sores, jaw pain, oral pylogenic infections, and discolored teeth. Many times we miss the cause. As we saw, cause is very important. Many times some problems are related to again nutritional deficiencies like bleeding gum, dry mouth, and mouth sores uh, are the signs of decreased B complex, or it is the sign of deficiency of vitamin B complex. Then toothache, broken tooth are maybe due to the result of calcium deficiency. Oral pyogenic infections and bad breath and are the symptoms due to local pathology, that is tooth decaying. Many times discolored teeth are due to fluorinated water. So you have to remove the cause. You have to see whether your child is having particular type of deficiency, correct it. Many times it gets cured without any medicines. So these are about dental care, preventive dental care. If your child is below 2 years, restrict bottle feeding. Always take extra care of teeth during breastfeeding. You have to wash your child's gums and teeth by water after every feed is the key to have good teeth. Then use natural food items for giving stimulation of teeth. After 2 years, routine care, as we all know, two-time brushing, brushing after eating sweet and fatty fat related items, etc. Then what is Ayurvedic care? Now calcium is also always associated with teeth related problems. So make sure for calcium deficiencies. Calcium rich supplement is required for good healthy absorption of teeth. Extra care, that is Triphala Gandush or cover, that is decoction prepared by Triphala. You can prevent decaying of the tooth by it. Then toothache, you can have Irimedadi Pichu in infective condition, that is cotton soaked in Irimedadi tel reduces the infective conditions and many times toothache also. And internal care, as we saw, the calcium rich diet and some medicines like Dantodbhed Rasa, Astiposhak Vati, Immunorace and Chavanprash will also help for good oral health. Now after dental problems, let us have a look on common musculoskeletal problems. Muscles and bones are the frame of our body, and it is very responsible for good development of our total body structure. So common problems are hip joint dysplasia, muscular dystrophy, fractures, clubfoot, osteomyelitis, scoliosis, and JRA, that is juvenile rheumatoid arthritis related problem. These are actually diseases. This is very vast subject actually, but these are the common pediatric problems and what we can do for it. So many times children of age school age complaints muscle pain, recurrent fractures, cramps in a leg, or leg pain. So simple massage along with diet correction shows excellent results. As I recommend, Abhyanga with medicated oil up to age of 1 proves very effective in good musculoskeletal development. And mother feeding baby should have good calcium supplement because uh, milk is the only source to the babies below 6 month age. So mother should have good calcium supplement. Then this is the best tonic for musculoskeletal system. Dinka, charoli, badam, kala gur, and dried coconut. You have to fry that dink with ghee, then mix it with, you can powder it, charoli, badam, kala gur, and dried coconut, make laddu of it and have it. This is the best tonic for musculoskeletal system. Then Nachani Sattva, Rajgira Raya, you can correct your calcium related problems by this modified diet. Then medicines, Lakshadi Gugul, Astiposhak Vati are have good results on recurrent fractures or delay in fractures. Then having muscle cramps, etc. Trifala Gugul, Panchatikta Gugul are having good results on pain related problems. Then Panchakarma like Pottali, Pindasveda are also helpful. Muscle strengthening exercise along with yoga are also prescribed for specific sports in childhood. Now, I have many cases of developmental delay or milestone delay. Abhyanga with medicated oil like Bala tel or Shatavari tel only with steam is very helpful in this developmental delay. Now, after this musculoskeletal system, this is the canvas of mental uh, this is the canvas of mental disorders of classroom, we can say. Fear, panicness, then anxiety, stress, all of all of factor you can say in childhood, and it is very common. So when you look for behavioral disorder, common behavioral disorder are attention deficit disorder, oppositional deficient disorders, anxiety disorders, depression, bipolar disorders, learning disorders, conduct disorders. Complaints of a parent are anxiety, overacting, very much eager to show something, then hyperactivity are common problems. The school is playing important role in this diagnosis of behavioral disorder. Teachers should inform their parents for abnormal behavior. So the diagnosis is, when diagnosis is done, you can treat it in early childhood. So early detection is the key in behavioral disorders. Garbha Sanskar, Suvarna Prashan play important role. When you know that your parent is having some psychological problem, then Garbha Sanskar and Suvarna Prashan are the best preventive way for not having that problem inherited. Then parental counseling, individual counseling, and social task. This is very efficient way to decrease that behavioral problems. Then Ayurvedic care, you can have Suvarna Prash, Brahmi Prash, Kushmanda Valeho, Saraswatarishta. All are brain tonics and have shown best results. Then Nasya, Shirodhara will be also helpful. But best thing is Tratak like yoga is also helpful, but best thing is early detection is the key. So this is all about psychological problems. Now we are entering into the part 3, that is common preventive protocol. What are the common preventive protocol? What are the age wise preventive protocol? What are the preventive protocol for seasonal care? So this is protocol given by Ayurveda. The Ayurveda holistically taking care of childhood, that is intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical. All domains are covered with all sensory organs and its functions, that is touch, vision, hearing, tasting, smelling, all are covered in this protocol. So we will start it from early stage, that is from womb, that is Garbha Sanskar during pregnancy. It is helpful for better childhood and minimum risk. But nowadays it is proving helpful in genetic disorders, family histories, and minimizing risk of mother and risk of baby also. Then antenatal care, that is first 45 days care. We all are having good Indian tradition of that massage and steam and dhupan for baby. It is better for circulation and avoiding many diseases. Then Suvarna Prashan, as we all of you know, Suvarna Prashan is having good role in immunomodulation, memory boosting, and better growth and development. Pushya Nakshatra, that is Poshak Nakshatra, once in a month we add drops of a Suvarna Siddha Ghruta, that is ghee, from newborn to 16 year of age. Then Sattu Mando, it is for good digestion in the child having malabsorption related problems. Baliguti, I would recommend it for 2 years. It is very easy to use, but always look for good quality of raw material, and also for sterile uh, raw material. Then it is after that Abhyanga and Svedan, that is up to 6 months daily, three three times per week up to 2 years, and once in a week up to 5 years are recommended. It improves circulation, muscle tone, and joints and bones of the body. Then Svedan, many times we saw the local steam inhalation and local steam to the lung and heart areas will decreases the cough, cold related symptoms. So this is the best way of lifestyle modification. Even without having antibiotics, you can cure cough by this local Svedon, that is the steam. Now, next to this, Nasya, as we saw earlier, nasal application. You can do it from newborn, but I will recommend after 3 years because the nasal structure is very delicate, and throughout the life it has very good. Not only have the preventive role in upper respiratory tract related diseases, but also it improves brain function, sensory organs, and infections. Netranjan, Ashtotan, Bilodak are related to eye related preventive care. You can have Tupanjan or good quality of Anjan to remove the stress or promote the good eye function. Nowadays, kiddos are having online classes. Uh, they are having 4 5 hours of sessions. So these all are having strain on your eyes. You can use Trifalanjan cool eye drops for relieving that strain. Then Karna Puran, make sure that the oil you are putting into your ears are sterile all the time. You can put it in your cooker and make it sterile, and then only you can use that. Then Shirodhara Shirobhyanga is helpful in behavioral or psychological problems. That then after pranayam, prarthana, yoga, as we all are know, we all are putting our kiddos into sanskar vargas. That all are important for improving brain function and controlling emotion and have positive energy from that. And Suvarna Siddha Jala, that is immunobooster. And some rasayan for immunobooster purposes during, you can say, seasonal changes. It are having good results on immunity, that is Chawanprash you can use. Then after that, what is seasonal care in children, or is it have any significance? So season wise changes impact greatly on human body. Child phase is very susceptible, so drastic weather changes during conversion from one season to another have more crucial period. So it shows very n number of diseases and many infections also. So seasonal care is very important. Ayurveda mentioned 15 days of previous season and 15 days of upcoming season as a Rutu Sandhikal, and there's Rutu Sandhikal, that is transitional period. It shows maximum occurrence of diseases, maximum spread of infection, immunity suppression, community diseases. So all are related during this 15 days of transitional period. So take care during this period very well. Now I am just running with the time, so I am just focusing or highlighting season wise care, that is winter care. Cold atmosphere is there and digestive power is good, so you can have heavy hot food. Don't you roasted cold food during this season. Common diseases during winter are joint diseases, skin problems, cough, cold. You can have chavanprash, ashwagandha churno, sitopaladi churno, vyoshadi vati to prevent upper respiratory tract related problems. Then seasonal care during rainy season. This is the most mistaken season. Rainy season have lower digestive power and hence appetite. So do not go for heavy food items. Go for light, warm food. Then common diseases are all related to asthma related, fungal related, joint pain related. So prevent it before it have bad prognosis. So you can have Abhyanga, Svedan, Nasya. You can use Kumari Asav, Balguti, Vishadivati, Hingvashtak Churna for good digestive power. Then during summer, extreme heat problems common are UTI, urinary tract infection, prickly heat. So avoid it by having avogah. You can use vada pani, dhana jeera fanta, nimbatrikatu powder to avoid all that season wise diseases. And this is the October heat, most dangerous period, most uh, bad prognosis of diseases seen in this period, because it is drastic change, uh, rainy season to October heat to again winter season. So common problems are related to skin problems, acidity, migraine, cold cough, and epidemic diseases. You must have chavanprash, paripatadi kadha, madhumeha vati if you are having diabetic. Then all these are the preventive care season wise. Now this is what unhealthy versus healthy. Left side picture shows what is unhealthy and right is healthy, as we all of you know. And now this is the last. We are all wonderfully made, so take care of yourself, take care of your family. Prevention is always better than cure, and prevention is the key for better quality of life and to avoid bad prognosis. So this is the end. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. I think uh, chat.
Dr. Gayatri, there are few questions in the chat.
Okay, okay. I will open it and I will take it. Okay, I will go one by one.
Yeah.
If child is frequently infested with worm, then what should be? Uh, First of all, find the cause, as we mentioned. Many times water will be the cause, or if she or he is having habit of eating uh, what we can say soil. So first we'll find the cause and deworm your child by Krumikuttaras. It will not have any harm effects. Krumikuttaras you can use after period of 3 or 4 months also, according to age. So this will be the best method. Then second question is, if baby of 5 year old is having a problem of hair loss, what would be the reason and what could be done? This is actually big question. You can mail me, I will go through the case, I will go through all the causes. Let's identify the cause and then we will have treatment. Maybe the calcium deficiency is one of the reason. Worm also have the effect on hair loss or skin related problems, so we will have the history. Thank you very much. Cow ghee or any other good. Cow ghee is the best. Good tea. You are asking for good tea. Green pharmacy good tea I will recommend. Very hygienic and very clearly mention how to use and what to do if you are having small problems. No, not at all. You can use Gutti from 15 days also. You can use from newborn period also. But if your baby is premature or if your baby is underweight, then go after 15 days. Otherwise, you can start it immediately. Thank you. Thank you very much. Basti is not. Basti is recommended after age of 8 in Kashyap Samhita. So after 8 years, you can use this. Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gayatri, for giving us such a detailed knowledge about child health. Ayurveda is a very vast subject like a sea, and you teach us a pulse from that sea useful for the child care. As I always believe that Ayurveda is not a curative pathy like disease and medicine. It's a lifestyle which we have to apply in the day-to-day life. So I believe that you will apply all the knowledge given by Dr. Gayatri for your child. So thanks once again to Dr. Gayatri as well as all the participants who join us and motivate us. So stay tuned. We'll meet next time with the new subject. And once again, thank you for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
So leave.